Hello again, everyone. So we're going to be reading chapters 3 and 4 of Planet Omar, Accidental Trouble Magnet today. Let's get started. School was going to start on Monday. Only 2 more sleeps before I had to walk into a brand new classroom with everyone watching and a teacher who might or might not be an alien zombie. Saturday is always mosque day. My mum had decided that for the first few weeks after moving, we would visit a different mosque every Saturday and pray there to see what our new neighbourhood was like. Dad normally works on Saturdays, so it was just me, Mariam, Ezra and Mum. My mum is a very smart scientist and works out all sorts of different ways of fighting cancer for the cancer research people. But sometimes Ezra's cuteness makes her lose her smartness. It's like he has big, innocent smartness melting eyes. They don't work on me. So when Ezra wanted to buy a whistle from the petrol station on the way to the mosque, I knew it wasn't a good idea. But Mum went right ahead and bought it for him, saying, "Because you've been such a good boy this morning," and giving him a gooey kiss on the top of his head. I knew it was gooey because she actually still kisses me like that, even though I've forbidden her to do it in front of my friends. In the mosque, everyone prays together with the imam leading. It's supposed to be super quiet. Just after the prayer began, Ezra decided to move from his place. I was praying in between Mum and Mariam. Neither of them moved. I wasn't sure if they'd even noticed that he'd got up. Now, Ezra is annoying sometimes because he is my little brother and I worry about him, so I quickly sneaked to look behind us. He was sitting at the back with a big, cheeky grin on his face. I turned back around and carried on praying. Then we went into ruku. That's when your hands are on your knees. Silence from Ezra. Then we went into sujood. That's when your nose and forehead are on the ground. Ruku, sujood. And then the loud noise of a whistle broke through the silence, followed by Ezra's voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then again. And then the counting. It wouldn't stop. I couldn't help myself, but how could I? I burst out laughing, ha 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 ha, right in the middle of my prayer. I put my hand over my mouth. I bit my tongue, and I even pinched myself really hard, but I couldn't help it. I didn't have to wonder if Mum had heard. People on all floors of the mosque must have heard. When the prayer finished, Mum and Mariam were a bright shade of pink. It looked as if their skin had suddenly decided to compete with Mariam's socks for pinkness. And I have a picture of the socks here. And they were looking everywhere except up at the people's faces, like they usually do when they greet people after prayers. Mum was motioning angrily to Ezra to come to her. Luckily, a few people came and patted Ezra's head, which made Mum's skin return to its normal colour. As we were leaving, an old lady with a walking stick and brown abaya waddled over and said, "Good counting, young man." Chapter 4. Sunday passed pretty quickly, because Sundays are science days. Dad calls them Science Sundays in one of those big, booming voices. It's the most fun you could ever have on a Sunday. Why? Because my dad is also a scientist. And I think he and Mum only had us 3 kids so that they could create more scientists or something. I actually like science, so I don't mind. We always do fun things, like making slime, creating fizzy eruptions, and making things go pop. There are 4 things that pretty much seem to happen on every Science Sunday. Number 1. Mum wants everything done very precisely. She's obsessive about it, but pretends that she's not, because Science Sundays are supposed to be fun and not bossy. She ends up saying things like, "Just 1 milliliter more, my cotton button," through gritted teeth, and Are you sure you stared that correctly, sunshine?" Number 2. Dad laughs at just how crazy Mum gets about the preciseness, and he kisses her head and says that that's why she's the best scientist in the world, and she kisses his hand and smiles like she's the luckiest woman in the world. Super yuck. Number 3. Mariam always drops important parts of the experiment on the floor. Number 4. Ezra always steps on the important parts of the experiment that Mariam drops on the floor. This is because he has ants in his pants. And so we have got a picture of all these ants marching over pants. And in his shoes everywhere. And he can't stay still. Ever. Oh dear. That Sunday we did tornadoes in bottles, which is so cool. You should try it sometime. You connect 2 bottles with a little pipe and you whirl the top bottle, which makes the water go down in the bottom bottle, and it sends the air up, making a tornado. We all set things up together on the kitchen table. My brain was thinking about telling Mariam to pass the bottles and pipes, but my mouth hadn't caught up with my brain yet and got things modelled up, so it came out as, "Pass the pipes." Mariam diddled, "Pipes? I mean, bottles and pipes," I diddled too. "But I like it. Pipes. I wish it was a real word." "If it was a real word, then it would just be normal and you wouldn't like it anymore," said Mariam. "That's so true," I said. Mum and Dad were bending over laughing in the kitchen. When we asked them what was so funny, they said that in the Arabic language there's no P sound, so a pipe won't end up being called a bipe. Then Mariam, who was showing off, doodling with her smartphone, said that actually bipes are a weird, disgusting snake lizard type thing that look like they're inside out. Eventually, we got on with the experiment. "Oh yeah, tornado in a bottle," said Dad. Sometimes he gets really cheesy and excited, and Mariam and I look at each other and roll our eyes. But we kind of like it, really. "You can put glitter or food colouring in the bottle too, to see the tornado better," said Mum. So Mariam and Ezra both reached for the glitter, and Mariam dropped the bottle on the floor, sending glitter flying everywhere. "Right on schedule," said Dad, with a peal of laughter. Mum hugged Mariam and kissed her, also diddling uncontrollably. I could see that Mariam wasn't taking it well. "Ugh." She shrugged Mum off and stomped towards the stairs. "Science is so lame, anyway." She does extra grumpy things like that a lot at the moment. Although, it's not like she's always grumpy. Sometimes she's the nice Mariam too. It's weird. Dad says it's teenage hormones. So, there we have it, chapters 3 and 4. Thank you for listening.